The first group we'll be considering were the Northmen. You might have heard this term and seen it used on the internet to refer to all medieval Scandinavians, but it mostly applied to those living in, or coming from, the region of modern-day Norway. Back then, however, this region was probably called Norðvegur, meaning North Way in Old Norse, which refers to the sheltered sea route along Norway's western coastline. To explain, inland travel was difficult in Norway because much of its landscape is mountainous and deeply indented by fjords. But sea travel was much easier because numerous coastal islands create sheltered channels for ships to travel through quickly and safely. This feature was a lifeline for those living in this region, who used it for both travel and trade, so it's not surprising that their home was named after it, and that their own identities were shaped by it. This is also one reason why the Northmen were, like other Norse, so skilled in seafaring and shipbuilding. Despite their inland hardships, though, the climate of Norway was surprisingly mild. This was largely thanks to something called the Gulf Stream, which still brings warm waters from the Gulf of Mexico up to the western coastline of Norway as far north as the Lofoten Islands, which is where Ottar hailed from. Yet, while still helping keep Norwegian winters less severe, that still wasn't enough to bless their land with much arable land, that is, land suitable for farming. Only two regions had significant amounts of arable land, the areas around Trondheim and Oslo. This, along with rugged terrain, not only forced settlements in Norway to be dispersed, that is, isolated farmsteads rather than villages, but also divided power between those two regions. These conditions also meant that most Northmen relied on animal husbandry for survival, which involved raising livestock, mostly cattle, sheep, pigs, and goats, and making dairy products and other goods with them. These animals were so important, in fact, that a person's social status was frequently determined by how many animals they had